Kia ora. If I sound a little stuffy, it's because I got a blocked nose. But this is my August recap, and to summarize, it wasn't a good month for reading. So I'm going to make this more of a wish list of things I want to get through, or at least attempt to get through in the month of September. So, firstly, I bought The Silmarillion. Now, I have read The Silmarillion before, but I don't think I really understood it. So, I picked it up, and I've made decent progress. It is one of those books that requires a lot of concentration to get through. I really like the first stage with like the trees and the Eldar and stuff like that. And Melkor gets up to some nasty tricks. It's got a good sort of mythological narrative to it, like really like a pieced together text. Well, I mean, yeah. Anyway, the Silmarillion, it's good. It's definitely all about the elves and the Valar, at least in the beginning. But yeah, it's a good read. But this is something I want to get through, and my friends have been reading The Lord of the Rings, so this will be a good that will be a good incentive for finishing the Silmarillion, so I can discuss deep lore, deep Tolkien lore with my friends. So yeah, also the cover is nice and shiny, but this is one of those books that I'll probably get a nice hardback if I really enjoy it. If I'm sniffing and snuffling, it's because my nose is completely blocked. Yeah. Um, and then this month I want to read a penguin book. So I've settled for the Epic of Gilgamesh. And I read the introduction, which was about 50 something pages. And now I'm on to the tablet one. This version of the text has multiple different reconstructions of the text based on different versions that they found. And it's interesting because the text is not complete, so in a very different state from most of the classics of antiquity. And yeah, the introduction was really insightful into the historical context of Assyriology and the Epic of Gilgamesh and cuneiform in general. So yeah, it's I've enjoyed the introduction, and this is a book I probably will get through. I might not get through the whole thing, but I will at least get through the first reconstruction of the Epic of Gilgamesh, which I think is like the classic version, and then the more ancient versions are more fragmented. The forever book I'm reading, Finnegans Wake. I don't really want to talk too much about it, but I've picked it back up again, and I have almost finished in another reread. So I have not read that much in the past month of this book, but I'm getting close to finishing it and starting again. And then I really want to read Tokyo These Days, Volume 2. Every time I pick this up, it is amazing. Taya Matsumoto is probably one of the best mangaka who's currently working. He's got a really, I don't know, candid, kind of naturalistic style. It's just an incredible writing, and the art is very like free form and just kind of loose, and it really feels like a piece of contemporary fiction and artwork, and it's just got everything really that I look for in manga. It doesn't have like an extraordinary storyline, but the characters are incredibly like believable, and there's a real attention to the the human habits of the characters, and the dramas that play out are often like very true to life. So yeah, I Tokyo These Days is 3 volumes, and I plan on at least finishing volume 2 this month. But I just keep on getting sidetracked. And then the book that I actually did read last month, I read half of, or almost half of this. Actually, half of this, because I believe the last chunk is footnotes, so I'm not going to read this time through. But the collected fictions of Borges. So, Jorge Luis Borges. Jorge Luis Borges is an Argentinian author, short story writer, wrote exclusively short stories, no novels or long form prose. And he also wrote essays and parables, but he's mostly known for his short stories. And these are very, like, dare I say, kind of trippy, but they're most of them follow magical realism and center around some kind of theological or philosophical or literary idea and explore it. Often he takes like other story forms, such as the detective story, and then tells like a different type of story inside that. So, like, for example, there's one where it's a detective story, but then it's also kind of like a religious like symbolism sort of murder mystery. He combines a lot of different things, and Borges' take on a lot of traditional genres is subverted with the sort of philosophical, kind of mind-bending slant of his writing. I think his most famous work is probably The Library of Babel, which sort of presents the idea of a library where every conceivable book of typographical letters exists, and the madness that and the scale of such a thing, and it's definitely changed the way I look at reading. Borges has changed the way I look at other works. I've read quite a few of these stories already, just because the Penguin Essentials Labyrinths contains a lot of his earlier works. Or maybe not his early works, but it contains a lot of sort of well-known works of Borges. Although the first sort of book inside this book, I hadn't read any of those works, although those were fairly literal stories, really didn't have much magical realism. And the later stories that I'm getting up to, I've also encountered less and less of them. But yeah, Borges is really, really good. And I don't know if I'm gonna finish him this month. I think I'm more set on Tokyo These Days and the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Silmarillion. So I think I'll just focus on these 3 books and just alternate between them depending on what catches my interest. So yeah, and I've got my coffee. Nice single origin coffee, and it's good. It's good, but I wish I didn't have a cold, but it has given me a lot of time to read. So yeah, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.